They want to reproduce, but there are no males in the tribe, so after reaching adulthood, they must go out to find husbands. However, they have only one requirement for choosing a mate. He must be strong and robust. This is because their bodily fluids contain toxins, and if the partner is weak, he might be poisoned and die within a few days of dating.
When kissing or during the creation of a child, the male partner would suddenly collapse and die.
However, this is not a problem for the male protagonist at all, because he is the reincarnation of the strongest dragon king in ancient times. The dragon power contained within him makes even a little snake woman no challenge, let alone dominating the world. After being betrayed and killed by humans, the male protagonist intended to resign himself to eternal rest in the underworld, but when he opened his eyes again, he saw humans, or more precisely, his parents. That's right, the male protagonist was reincarnated as a human. In the blink of an eye, he had grown up. There is a rule in the village that considers 15 years old as adulthood, and by custom, one must start living independently. Now at 16, the male protagonist has been living on his own for a year. He has taken on responsibilities for the village and is preparing to investigate the swamp tomorrow, because the lizardmen who originally lived there have suddenly disappeared. This should have been the soldier's job, but since they were short-staffed, the protagonist volunteered to investigate the situation. Before leaving, he returned to his parents' home to taste the delicious meal his mother had prepared. Although his parents were worried about him, since he was already an adult, he had to be responsible for his own decisions, so all they could do was silently support him. Of course, they also reminded him to find a wife soon. However, the protagonist still wanted to enjoy the single life a bit longer. The next day, many people came to see the protagonist off. The guards expressed deep apologies for letting the protagonist take the risk, but they had to stay to defend the village. As he was leaving, Grandma Margot reminded the protagonist that she saw some bad things in her divination. After bidding farewell to everyone, the protagonist set off for the swamp. After a long journey, he finally arrived. In the next moment, the protagonist touched the ground, activated his perception, and instantly understood the reason why the lizard people could not reside there. Because the power of the earth spirit is too strong, and the power of the water spirit is too weak. Suddenly, a sound nearby caught the protagonist's attention, and he immediately assumed a battle-ready stance, as any creature able to move in the swamp under these conditions must be a fairly powerful species. Soon, the protagonist saw the creature, but it was a bit different from what he imagined.
Snake.
The demon is a creature that hasn't been seen in this generation, but it truly is as beautiful as the rumors say. Upon learning that the protagonist is alone, the snake woman instead smiles.
How should I put it? In this situation, I will use my charm to make you unable to move for 3 days.